All right, that's loud. So the title of my talk is Credit Management, and my name is Stefan Keller. I'm the CEO of Sodexis. Let me say a few words about Sodexis before I start. So as an Odoo partner since 2012, Sodexis helps manufacturing and distribution companies across the US and Europe to improve their efficiency by implementing the Odoo ERP solution with the highest return on investment possible. Really, our primary goal is always to help our customer go through the implementation process successfully. We have offices in Florida, in the US, in Switzerland, France, and in India. At this point, we have about 40 employees, and we really have all the roles needed for a successful implementation. So we have business analyst team, development team, system admin team, and we even have a bookkeeper in case you need some help with that. Here's a short agenda. I'll just start with an introduction, and then I'll go straight into the demo. If you want to add questions to the pad, but you know, we can also do that interactively at the end if you prefer. So introduction. So I used to call this a simple credit management app, but you know, we keep adding features to it. So it's still simple to use, I believe, but you know, it has more functionalities. Okay. We developed it over the years. We started back in V12, all the way up to V16. The demo will be with V16, but our team just put the V17 already on the App Store, I think yesterday. So if you want to use it for the new version, you can. It's used by many of our customers, I would say almost all of them. The main features is that the confirmation of a customer sales order is restricted if the customer does not have enough credit and or did not prepay for the sales order. There's an option for a group of users to override the restriction. So if you have the right, if you're part of the right group, you can override it. There's an option to eliminate the restriction for some payment methods. You can think of like if the customer is going to pay with a credit card, then you don't need to apply the credit limit. Okay. There's an option to put the customer on a credit hold, so then you don't accept any transaction with the customer, including the delivery order. And there's also an option to hold the delivery till there's a payment. Okay. Right. So I'll go straight to the demo. I'm going to start with you know, the way we calculate the total credit used. All right. So this is okay, I'm going to go to a customer with 1,000 credits. Okay. So if you look at this customer in the sales and purchase tab, we set up a credit. So those are the fields we added for this module. So there's a credit limit of $1,000. And at this point, there's no credit used. Okay. And there are more fields here, but I'll talk about them later. So if I go back to the sales order, here I prepare the sales order with you know, simply $140. At that point, you know, there won't be any limit, so I'm able to confirm the sales order, no problem. You can go and take a look then at the total credit used, and at this point it's $140. Okay, so our app, you know, take into account the sales order of the customer. We can go back to the sales order. I'll deliver it. Apply. Go back to the sales order. I'll create the invoice. And at this point, the invoice is still in the draft state, but even though it's in the draft state, we take that into account. So the credit, the total credit use is still $140. This goes along with the philosophy of Odoo to say that that line on the sales order has been invoiced, okay? And of course, whenever you confirm the invoice, then the credit is still 140, of course, and it's only once the invoice has been paid that then the credit use will be decreased back to zero. Okay, so the total credit use, we include both the sales order, the invoice in draft state, and the invoice in a confirmed state. Okay, all the steps. Okay. Let's see. I also set up a child of that customer just to show you that it will be taken into account. Okay, so let me go to the child. All right, here. Okay, this one was canceled, so I'll just duplicate that. So here's a child, so a contact of that customer. And if we look at that, you'll see that there's going to be an indication that the credit is managed on the parent company. So all the field defined on the parent will be used, or the credit limit that you define on the parent will be applicable, and the credit used by the child, by the contact, will also be included in the total credit use of the parent. But we also have the option here to manage the individual credit limit. So if you had a company and let's say different invoice addresses, for example, then you could set up different credit limit for the different addresses. Okay. So if I go back to the sales order and it's again 140, I'll confirm it. No problem with the confirmation at this point. And if I go to the child and I had it checked, so it used its own limit, okay, and added the total credit use to here. And if we go to the parent, the total credit use will be reflected there as well. Okay. Okay. It's a small group, so if you have any question while I'm giving the talk, don't hesitate to ask me. Okay. So this was the first part. How do we calculate the total credit used? And so now let's see what happened when you try to go over the credit limit for a customer. All right, I'll go back to the customer with the parent, with the $1,000 credit. I'm just going to duplicate this. We'll just simply increase the quantity. And so now we are over the limit. So of course we get a warning that this customer is going to be over the credit limit in case you confirm that sales order. Of course, we have the current credit use, which is $140. And you would add the $1,400, so therefore you would be over the credit limit. So you get the warning. If you try to confirm, you're gonna get the warning that you would be over the limit, and so you're not allowed to do that, and so you cannot confirm at this point the quotation. So we stop the quotation if the customer is over the credit limit, but as you can see, there's a Boolean that will show you that the customer is over the credit, so you could search for that, all the sales orders that are over the credit limit. And if you have the access right, then a new field will be shown and give you the option to override the credit limit. And so I'm going to do that, and then at that point, I'll be again able to confirm the sales order, okay? Because the person that has the right to override that, did, and so at that point you can confirm the sales order again, okay? Okay, so I showed that to you. We have another option which is, also to introduce a lower threshold. So sometimes we have customers that say, sure, that customer has a credit limit of 10,000. We don't want them to go over that. But let's say if the customer wants to order like, $200 worth of equipment, we'll still, want them to be able to do that. Okay, and so if we look at that example, here I set up a customer with still $1,000 of credit, but also a $200 threshold, so override credit threshold. So it means that even though they're over the credit limit, if there's a sales order that's below that threshold, then we will allow it. So let's see, I should be able to have an example here. So as you can, as I showed you, that customer at this point is already over the, the total, the credit limit with his credit used. So if I go to, let's say, a sales order for $140, I'll just duplicate this and, confirm it, no problem. And of course, if I go to one with a larger amount, like here, and at this point I'll get the warning, and as before, I cannot confirm it. Okay, so this is again just to allow for a smaller sales order to still go through, even though the customer might be over the credit limit. Okay, all right, that's this case. Okay, what about customer with 0 credit? All right. So we have here. So by default, when the customer has 0 credit, we decided to just assume that there is no credit limit. Okay, so then the customer is allowed to buy whatever they want. Okay, and so if you go to a sales order, and of course I'm able to confirm it, so there's no warning, and I'm just able to confirm it because there's no constraint, right? We did add an extra feature here. That's the add prepayment test, okay? And what it does is that if you select that, what will happen is that if the credit limit is 0, that means that you assume that the customer is going to be, prepay, okay? So if you prepay, if you enter a payment, that's going to actually decrease account receivable, all right? And so that's going to, decrease the, total credit used, and then the customer will be able to confirm a sales order for that customer. Then I don't remember if I say, yeah, I think I saved that. So I'm going to go back to quotation. Customer with 0 credit, and so at this point, yeah, I'm going to duplicate this, and it's going to tell me it's over the credit limit, and so in this case, what we can do is, we added a link to the payments here, and so you can ask the customer, please pay the sales order before we do anything, okay? And so they can they can send a check or a wire transfer, and then you can enter it here. And I think I'm gonna get in trouble because I have another one already entered, but let's say it went to our bank, confirm, and if I go back to the sales order, it's still gonna do that because I have another one that is with 1400, okay? But the point here is that, so if we enter the prepayment, then we'll be able to confirm the sales order, and later on you can enter the invoice and then reconcile the invoice with the payment you entered previously. All right, no credit testing for some payment methods, so let's see, let me go back to customer. All right, so that customer at this point is over the credit limit, as we can see here. And so I'm going to select the payment method. So we added the payment method there, and I added, a credit card payment with no credit testing. So if you go to the journal, you'll see that there is here a Boolean for credit testing. So by default, that will be selected. And if you unselect it, then it won't do the test. And that means that even though that customer is, over, over the limit, actually I should duplicate this one. All right, in principle, at this point, that should go through. And here we go, okay? So for certain payment method, we want to be able to do no credit testing. All right, I don't know, how am I doing with the time? Good, okay. How much time? Okay, 40. So then, well, let's take a look at the credit hold. So we have this option also to put a customer in credit hold. Let me see, where did I put that one? Here. The idea is that then we stop everything. Okay, we don't even have the option then to override the fact that you cannot confirm the sales order, and also we're gonna not let anybody deliver anything. Okay, because you're deciding that at that point that customer is not in good standing anymore, and then obviously you don't want even to ship anything anymore to that customer. And so here you can see it's on credit hold. I'm going to do this, and I set up 2 sales order. Okay, the first one I want to look at is this one. So this one is not confirmed yet. You're going to get the warning that you have the credit hold and the account is on hold. If you try to confirm, same message, okay, and you don't even have the option to override that, okay. You would have to go to the customer and undo or unselect the boolean for credit hold for that to be able to confirm the sales order. And then the second one, I had a sales order was confirmed before I selected the credit hold, and so if you go to the delivery and try to validate it, then you get also the warning that that customer is on credit hold, and so you should not deliver it. Okay. I think we even have that for check availability, so it's not checking. It's not letting you even check the availability and reserve the stock for that delivery order at that point because the customer is on credit hold. All right, and then the last thing is that I want to show you is all delivery till payment. In some cases, it's like the customer is going to pay. But you want to already confirm the sales order because you want not the stock to be reserved, but also at least the stock that you need to be in your forecast, such that if you have reordering rules, then that order would be taken into account, and such that when you receive the payment, then you be able to ship it right away. Okay. So let's see that example. I have, okay, here I have a customer with, so on the customer, we have the whole delivery till payment boolean, and that's going to be propagated to the sales order. And then I'll duplicate that. So we'll confirm that. I'll deliver it. And delivery is on hold. Okay, I took the wrong one. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Sorry, I got confused. All right. So that's the point. So we have the old, delivery boolean on the delivery order. So you can always see there that it's on hold till you get the payment. There you cannot change that boolean. Okay. There's always the option on the sales order itself to override the initial decision. And then you don't hold it anymore, and then your warehouse can just ship it, okay? Or, and then you're waiting for the payment, so we're gonna create a down payment, all right, of 100%. All right, I'm gonna confirm that. But notice, so if we go back to the sales order and the delivery order, this is still, on hold. I go back to the invoice and I'll register payment for it. And go back to the sales order and the delivery order. Then you'll see that, it's not on hold anymore, and you'll be able to check availability and validate and ship the delivery order, okay? All right, so those are all the examples I wanted to show you. Let me go back to that. And so, as I said at the beginning, our development team put the credit management app on the App Store already for V17. If you want to check it out, we have a lot more apps. If that interests you, we have an authorized.net app that extends the what Odoo is doing to the back end. We have a return management app. We have a shipping terms app, an EDI connector. We have an FTP app that enables you to sync, files that are on an FTP site with, basically a file inside of Odoo. We have an app to check availability up till today plus end day. By default, Odoo check the availability with, for all the scheduled date, and so we just have the option to limit, the days in the future that you're going to consider it. We have a subcontracting app that's a little bit more advanced than what Odoo is doing. Very useful if you, my subcontract like, 200 products at the same time from one subcontractor. We actually have one of our customers there that is using it, okay? And so forth and so on, okay? We have a lot more. We have about 100 apps on the App Store at this point. And we have many more that, we don't have enough time to put it on the App Store. And that's it. Thank you for listening. Really appreciate it. And please come and visit us at our booth. It's on all 10A3 if you want to talk to us more. Okay. Take any question. Any question? I don't know. We can. Did anybody use the app, the pad or not? Looks like it. Okay. Read the question then.
So quickly.
They're very good. Okay, next question.
Is there multi-currency support within this app?
Multi-currencies. Yeah, the credit limit will be just applied to whatever default currency you have in your company. I think it should work.
Would it be possible to customize the app in order to see the difference between draft and confirmed invoices in the credit used field?
Is it possible? Yeah, sure, it's possible. Okay, but I really think that you need to include the invoice, otherwise, the draft invoices. Otherwise, it looks strange. Okay, you have a sales order, and so you promise to send that. It's not paid yet, and then it's not, included in the total credit use. I'm not sure what would be the use case for that, but I guess it's possible. But is it possible? Yeah, we would just add a boolean that says. That gives you the option, and we would not. The total credit use is just a calculated field, so we can just change it.
Does this work with the approval app that you talked about yesterday?
Yes.
Is it possible to extend the credit amount to the POS app as a payment method?
It's not integrated with the POS app at this point. Yeah.
On the parent contact, I'm assuming we see the sum of the credit across all child contacts. Is that correct?
Yes, correct, yes.
Can you see who overrode the credit limit on a sales order?
Yes, it's in the chat.
Is the threshold amount inclusive? For example, up to and including $200 in your example.
Sorry?
Is it inclusive? So is it, if you try to confirm something that's 200, if the threshold is 200, does it work, or does it have to be 199?
I don't remember.
That's fair. Is there any way to set a requirement for percentage prepayment, as in a required percentage down payment before a sales order is confirmed?
Not at this point. It's requiring a full payment, okay? It's actually, the customer that needed that was because they're dealing with Amish people that only send checks, okay? And so, but the customer still wanted to, reserve the, basically the stock for for that customer, and then he knew that they're always sending the checks.
And then last question from the pad is, when a customer is on credit hold, will it keep the scheduler from checking availability too?
Yes.
That's all the questions on the pad. If anybody
Anything
has
else? Any other
in-person
question?
questions.
If not, no,
Yeah.
here we go.
Small question. Is it possible to connect financial control companies such as Gradon, CreditSafe with Odoo?
I'm sorry?
I'm working with a financial control, it's a Gradon to check the financial status of a company. And if it's possible to link the data of this company with Odoo to let the customer pay us 30 days or...
Yeah, that was not the purpose of the app, but yeah, if that system has an API, then we could do that, yes, okay? The question is always simply, that system has an API, then you have to figure out what would be the workflow, when do you get the information, and do you get it at the time you need it, or do you constantly download it and all of that? And we have a lot of experience connecting Odoo to all sorts of different systems, such as EDI platform, and we have our own EDI platform. We have connected Odoo to third-party warehouse, authorized.net, and many more like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Any other question? If not, then thank you very much.
Thank you.